When people think of Capcom's greatest franchises, names like Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, and Monster Hunter usually dominate the conversation. But hidden among those legendary series is a game that deserves far more recognition: Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny. Released in 2002 for the PlayStation 2, Onimusha 2 took everything that made the original game successful and expanded it in almost every way. It introduced a larger world, memorable new characters, branching story elements, and one of the most unique relationship systems of its era. More than 2 decades later, many fans still consider it the best game in the entire Onimusha series.
音よ音よ正吉誰がこんなことを。
The story takes place during Japan's Sengoku period, where history blends seamlessly with fantasy. Once again, the legendary warlord Nobunaga Oda has returned from the dead with the help of the demonic Genma army. Entire villages are destroyed as his forces spread across Japan, leaving death and chaos in their wake. This time, however, players don't control Samanosuke, the hero of the first game. Instead, they step into the role of Jubei Yagyu, a skilled samurai whose peaceful village is annihilated by Nobunaga's army.
文句てめえが親玉か。
聞け十兵衛、柳生の将を焼き払い一族を皆殺しにしたのは織田信長じゃ。
何。
奴を倒せ。信長は玄馬じゃ。
玄馬何を弱いことを。
玄馬を倒せ十兵衛。お前の手には玄馬の魂を吸い込む力がある。玄馬の魂をお前の力とし信長を倒すのじゃ。よいか。この世には冥府魔道から人々を救う5つの玉がある。その陣の玉をはじめ生和霊幽の5玉、それらを揃えれば信長を倒せよ。まずはこの地にある竜の祠へ行き、秘められた力を得るのじゃ。そして今章の金山へ行け。
お前は一体
頼んだぞわらわの息子。
Seeking revenge, Jubei embarks on a journey that gradually reveals a much greater destiny than simple vengeance. One of the biggest strengths of Onimusha 2 is its cast of characters. Throughout the adventure, Jubei meets several allies, each with their own personalities, motivations, and combat styles. Unlike many action games of the early 2000s, these companions aren't just background characters. They actively influence the story depending on how players interact with them. This is where Onimusha 2 introduces one of its most interesting mechanics, the gift system. As players collect treasures during their journey, they can choose to give them to different companions. Every character has unique preferences, and giving the right gifts strengthens your relationship with them. These relationships determine who appears in key story moments, who assists during battles, and even which scenes players experience. For a PlayStation 2 game released in 2002, this level of player choice was surprisingly ambitious. Multiple playthroughs can reveal completely different conversations, battles, and character interactions. Gameplay builds upon the foundation established by the first Onimusha, while making combat significantly more satisfying. Like its predecessor, the game combines fixed camera exploration with real-time sword combat. Enemies are aggressive but fair, rewarding patience rather than reckless button mashing. The signature mechanic remains the soul absorption system. After defeating enemies, players absorb colored souls that restore health, replenish magic, or improve weapons and armor. Deciding when to absorb souls adds a layer of strategy because enemies can interrupt the animation, forcing players to carefully choose the right moment. Combat also introduces a wider variety of weapons than the original game. Each magical weapon has unique elemental abilities, encouraging players to switch between them depending on the situation. Combined with stronger enemy variety and larger environments, battles remain engaging throughout the adventure. Perhaps the most satisfying mechanic is the Isin counterattack. With perfect timing, players can instantly defeat enemies by striking at the precise moment an attack is about to land. Mastering the Isin system transforms combat from careful survival into an elegant display of precision and skill. Even today, few action games deliver such a rewarding feeling when timing a counterattack perfectly. Visually, Onimusha 2 represented one of Capcom's finest achievements on the PlayStation 2. The beautifully rendered, pre-rendered backgrounds remain detailed and atmospheric, while character models featured impressive facial animations for the time. Capcom also continued using digitized likenesses of famous Japanese actors, giving the characters a distinctive cinematic quality rarely seen in games of that era. The soundtrack deserves equal praise. Traditional Japanese instruments blend with dramatic orchestral compositions, creating an atmosphere that feels both historical and supernatural. Every village, temple, and castle has its own musical identity, helping immerse players in feudal Japan while constantly reminding them that demonic forces are never far away. Like many Capcom games of the early 2000s, Onimusha 2 also embraced replayability. Unlockable costumes, bonus modes, hidden weapons, and alternate story events encourage players to return long after completing the campaign. Combined with the relationship system, each new playthrough offers something slightly different. Onimusha 2. Samurai's Destiny is one of the most memorable action games of the PlayStation 2 era. It combines intense samurai combat, a dark Japanese atmosphere, and an engaging story in a way that still feels special today.